Alright, to quote my buddy Xavier, I'm going to go on a rant real quick, and it's going to be a lot shorter than the last one. This one is that there's no such thing as subtext. Literary analysis is not real. It's just pseudo-intellectual eggheads using confirmation bias to see things how they want to see. And that's because that's just what people do. People see what they want to see. And there's no merit to making any kind of argument along those lines of, oh, this is the intent of the work. You have no way of knowing that. You have no idea what was going on in the author's head unless they explicitly say so. And if they're asked about their work, or they talk about their work, and they come right out and say, yes, this was my intent was to portray XYZ, and I just didn't want to come right out and say it because it would be distracting, or I just wanted to get something by the censors, or I was just making a little homage, but I didn't want to be accused of plagiarism, unless they come right out and say what's in there, then you don't know. And even then, when the author comes out and says, this is actually what this means, this is my intent, this is the interpretation, I would wager that half the time they're only saying that in retrospect. They're saying that after the fact because a bunch of so-called critics and experts and intellectuals have already asserted these things, and the author now goes along with it to appear smart. So you can't trust that in the first place. And that's not even mentioning the fact that if you set out to create a piece of art where you write from theme first, or you intend to include subtext, you write with the intent of having a message or anything along those lines, your work is already bereft of any artistic integrity anyway, because all you're making is propaganda. All you're doing is saying, this is what I think, I'm smart, look at how smart I am, I think this, you should think this too. If you don't think this, you're not smart like I am. That's all you get from a piece. You can't even call that art. It's just a piece of media. That's not creative. You should be. You can provoke thought, but you should not demand thought. You should not tell people what they think. You should just prompt them with interesting questions. So that's another aside right there. That's not even addressing. That's the other part of, if an author says, "Oh yes, well this is what this is supposed to mean." If they say anything other than, "I was just trying to make something entertaining," then they're a hack. They're a pretentious asswipe. That's it. To illustrate this, I could just make the argument. I could make the case that Jurassic Park is an allegory for women's suffrage. How about that? And I bet that if I compiled enough footage and elements and pointed to elements within the scenes and everything, and kept insisting upon my interpretation as such, I would end up making a very compelling argument, because that's all it takes. All you have to do is twist things into the way that you want to present them. You can fit a square peg into a round hole if you push hard enough, and that's all it is. And I believe that there's no reason to measure anything in a subjective manner and then insist upon it as being the meaning of the work. That's meaning that you personally took from the work, but that's not what the work is about. Sometimes the work is just at face value. Sometimes it is just a movie about, a corporation trying to cash in on recreating dinosaurs, and it goes horribly wrong. Sometimes that's all the movie is about. Sometimes the curtain is just the color blue just for the sake of it. The letter A is the letter A. And I can feel you recoiling against this argument, but that's just your ego being offended that your opinion isn't important, because that's all this is about. It's about, like I said, these pseudo-intellectuals, these eggheads, these professors, these critics, these people who don't know what they're talking about, these people who have to make themselves important somehow, these people who want to be scholarly, and they think, I'm so smart, I'm a know-it-all, I'm so much more of a genius than everybody else around me, and that's all it is. It's not real. Alright, so stop reading so much into things, and stop making fucking 7-hour-long quote-unquote analysis videos, or 50-minute quote-unquote video essays and all these other things, because you're wrong. You're wrong. Yeah, so take that, and there's gonna be more of these, and hopefully they'll be closer to this short length. I lost a bunch of footage because my phone decided to commit harry-carry, but it's back now. Yeah, that's all it is, an opinion. And you know what they say about opinions. So stop trying to sit here and tell me how something that's objectively crap is actually really deep because I missed the meaning that is in there. And I was like, no, there's no meaning. It's purple because they like the color purple. That was in there because they thought it would be cool, or they needed to save money, or there's a million actual explanations for what it is, and you just have nostalgia, or you don't want to admit that something you like is stupid. That's it.